What time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. Hello and welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa Hemming. And if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you would get me. And I am here today because it's just me today. You just get me today on what is the day that this is going to come out? March 10th. We're here for it. So what I wanted to do was, because I'm sort of changing up how this podcast works and bringing you guests every single Monday, and then in addition to the guests on Monday, you get the exclusive content on Thursday, should you decide to become a subscriber, which you should, because it supports who loves to bring you things that you love to hear. So what I wanted to do today is give you an idea, for the people who haven't subscribed yet, what I do on Thursdays. And so how this has sort of developed is, it was me doing the podcast for a long time and sharing sort of, takeaways from therapy, from life coaching, from running, from my own life, all of that. And you got a lot more of me. But you guys know that one of my big visions for this podcast was to bring in other stories, because yeah, sure, I've got stories, but other women have powerful stories of success and of pivoting and of going after their dreams and fulfilling their wildest adventures and following their hearts and doing brave shit and doing badass stuff. And I wanted to celebrate all of that. But I think what was sort of missing was my own sort of spin on things and the knowledge and the skill set that I have from being a life coach and being a therapist for as many years as I have. So what that looks like, I have had, when this comes out, have been 2 exclusive subscription only episodes. And what I've done with those is really hone in on things that have come out of those episodes. So in those discussions with those women, what my takeaways were, and sort of my mental health slash my own perception of what is going on, and how I can help you tactically to utilize whatever that discussion was in your own life. And this means, and I sort of explained this a little bit in the previous episodes, is that I am watching the episodes and I am taking notes, and I am literally from my own brain bringing you what I feel like you would want to hear from someone with a mental health background, who has experience helping people through these things. So this is like a snippet and sort of a behind the scenes for free on what my exclusive content looks like. Because I feel like you got to see it, right? Like, who wants to subscribe to something that they can't tactically see? Hopefully you love this podcast enough to support it. But this is sort of my way to showcase what we're doing behind the scenes, so that you understand and can see the value in subscribing and being a part of that. So what I wanted to do today was talk about what a first therapy session looks like / life coaching session. These are a little bit different. So like when I'm doing a therapy session, it does look a lot different than a life coaching session. Why? Because when people are signing up for therapy, that's what they're signing up for. Life coaching is different. I've explained this before. Therapy is, and the nice part about working with me is that you get the best of both worlds, right? Like, I can adjust my hat to whatever is going on in the session. But a lot of life coaching is like, okay, where are we at? Where are we going? Therapy can be a little bit of like, where have we been? Where are we going? Where have we been? Where are we going? Or sometimes in my perfect world, I love to just move forward. I get that shit happened. Sometimes people have to process it. Sometimes people need to talk about what has happened to them previously in order to move forward. I get that. What I love is like, this is me. Let's fucking go. Let's go forward. Let's go beyond. So, so that's the difference, right? Like, and when I do a therapy session, There's no work that you do ahead of time. I meet you for the first session and we talk. Life coaching, I send you an agenda of what I want you to think about and what I want you to work through before we have that session so that I know where we're going and we can make a plan to get you there. Every provider is different. And it's so funny. I'm actually using the book that I'm reading as a thing to raise my phone. Yeah, because I'm trying to work on my posture. I have been working on this kitchen table for way too long. And I do feel like it's doing a number to my posture and to my back. I just got diagnosed on Friday with scoliosis and like an inverted spine. So basically, the chiropractor was like, yikes, you're going to be a hunchback. And I was like, are you for real right now? Like, can we focus on like how to fix this and not like me becoming a hunchback? It was really terrible. I'm sort of in denial right now and just pretending that never happened and just proceeding with my life because that was traumatic. But I need to, in my life, I need to make sure everything is higher. I need an ergonomic. Nope, that's not the right word. Something that fits me so that I have my good posture. I do have exercises from my PT to work on my posture. So make sure that your desk works for you and not like mine. So anyways, the book that I was going to reference is holding my phone up so that I am more erect than usual. But it's funny. Every provider is different. I had a friend reach out to me a couple of weeks ago, and she was asking me my opinion. It was one of her friends that's a therapist had an opinion about the Mel Robbins book, The Let Them Theory. And she was asking me my opinion on this therapist's opinion. And my first reaction, usually when it comes to other therapists, is that I don't really find a lot in common with other therapists. There's a couple reasons for this. First of all, I am unique, and working with me is definitely a unique experience. I also believe in walking your talk. And this is a problem that I have with a lot of therapists. And a lot of therapists that I see, talking shit on social media or posting on social media, I am like, I would never go to you as a therapist because I believe that you as a therapist, first of all, should be doing or have done the things that you're asking of your clients and patients. I will never request something of a client or patient that I'm not willing to do myself. Secondly, I believe that you should be taking the very best care of yourself. You cannot be a productive and effective leader in mental health if you are flying by the seat of your pants with no boundaries, no self-care, shitty relationships, shitty communication. Like, you got to level up. And that's something that I pride myself on. And yeah, is it a little bit of extra pressure for myself? Sure. Does it help me show up to be the best version of myself in every aspect of my life? Hell fucking yes. So I'm not sad about it. I'm not, I just feel like most therapists don't do this. They have shitty boundaries. They take on way too many clients and they don't prioritize themselves. So I don't really agree with a lot of what people say. And what she was saying that what that therapist was saying that my friend sent to me made me so mad because she was shitting on Mel Robbins saying that you shouldn't say that you have anxiety. And I'm not even going to talk about that per se. I just feel like this therapist was feeling some kind of way because everybody's talking about this book and they had to puff their chest and say, I am a therapist and I disagree. Even though, what do we know from being here? This is your effing journey. I am not here to tell you what you should do, what works for you, what works best for you. I am here to help give you tools or provide you resources so that you can figure out how to best live your life. If you want to read the let them theory and soak up every fucking word and every word that Mel Robbins says, and that makes you feel the best, then you fucking do it. Don't listen to anything that a therapist says. The book that I'm reading that I'm referencing it's called You Should Talk to Someone. And I guess some people like it because it's written by a therapist and it sort of goes behind the scenes of therapy. But there's so many concepts in it that I don't agree with. So many weird things that she talks about. It's a little bit outdated too. One of the things that left me baffled last week. Well, I don't know why I'm still fucking reading it, but whatever. I should turn to something else. One of the things that made me laugh was the chapter was called Therapy with a Condom On. And she was talking about virtual therapy. And I'm thinking, is this lady out of her mind? Like, we are in the world of virtual therapy. And I like to say, too, like, I do a lot of Talkspace currently in my current business. And Talkspace, I love how it meets people exactly where they're at. There's people that I've never seen face to face because they don't feel comfortable. But we have really deep conversations with our voices. And who's to say that that's not how someone can get help? This, again, this is your effing journey. So the fact that this lady was saying that virtual therapy is like therapy with a condom on, I was like, First of all, not great messaging for sexual health. Condoms are a must. If you're having sex, have sex with a fucking condom. Secondly, why are we downgrading how someone gets help? Although the minute I read this, I'm like, this has got to be outdated. I looked in the beginning of the book and it was written in 2019, before 2020, before COVID, before the boom of virtual therapy. So I'd like to say we know a lot better now, but who knows? She also had a really weird chapter that I just read, and it was called The Rapist. And she's like, this is a common joke among therapists that we're called the rapists of feelings. And I was like, I have never heard that. I do not co-sign to that. I do not want to be known as the rapist of feelings or emotions. Like, no thanks. No, no. So every provider is different. And because of that, every session is going to be different. Every time you meet with a therapist is going to be different. So that's my first thing that I like to tell people when they first join a therapy session. I'm like, first of all, I may not be it for you. And that is a-okay with me. This is something, if someone is coming to me for the first time and it's their very first therapy session ever, I always start with this. I'm like, it is hard to find a therapist. It's hard to find a therapist in the same way that it's hard to find a partner for a relationship. So if this is not it, feel free to switch. Again, Talkspace, the platform that I use, makes it super easy to switch therapists, and just, you don't even have to say goodbye. You just switch therapists and say, fuck you, if you're really not down with them. It's not the best, in my opinion. You should learn some communication skills so you can say, hey, I'm moving on, whatever. But if you got to do it, you got to do it. I'm not gonna punish you for doing it. So another thing is that I find a lot of times that the change starts happening with people way before they even start therapy. So it's like that decision, like whatever it is that your goal is for therapy, a lot of times that action already starts before the therapy session begins. It's sort of beautiful. And, in addition to this, if you do find that the first therapist is not a great fit, or maybe you've had a couple sessions and you're like, I don't know if this is going the way that I want it to, or I don't know if I'm being challenged enough, I don't know if I'm being heard enough, whatever. There's so many different reasons. It's also a challenge to start again because you have to tell your story again. And maybe you're walking into another situation where you don't feel heard or you don't feel understood, or it's sort of not the relationship that you're feeling. You're gonna know when you are working with someone that you're getting something from. First of all, it's going to be comforting. There's level of comfort. There's also going to be a level of discomfort because your therapist should challenge you. They should challenge your thought process, the things that you're doing, the relationships that you're having. But they also should be doing it in a way that is conducive to your growth and also not too soon, right? Like the first goal in my work with someone is to help them feel comfortable, build that relationship, build that trust so that they do feel comfortable enough to let down, their guard and out their emotions. And then I can do the same in terms of challenging them and sort of, opening their eyes to seeing things differently and shifting the way that they're thinking about different situations. First session for me is I go over a lot of what this person's daily life looks like. What do they do? I ask them to tell me from morning to night, what does a typical day look like for you? I can find out a lot about a person in this from doing this because I can find out what sort of self-care they're doing. Do they have a designated morning routine, nighttime routine? Do they have time in the day where they're setting aside? And I find a lot of people on Talkspace find me, they already prioritize health and fitness. I have a hard time, I've said this before, if people don't understand how moving their body helps their physical health, their mental health, all of that, I'll get you going and we'll work on that mindset piece of why you're having a hard time getting going. But I really find my best work with people is with people who understand the impact of that and they don't have a hard time doing that. It's already part of their routine. So what does that routine look like? I met with a lady yesterday and she was so cute. She works all day long, has a little bit of a sensitive slash controlling husband, and her time after school is her drive home. That's her time to breathe. So she's like, I get in my car, I have 10 minutes to myself, and she's like, and then I gear up to call my mom. And I'm like, okay, does that phone call to your mom bring you joy? No, no. And I'm like, well, then why do you do it? Oh, because I feel like I have to because, she's alone and blah, 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 blah. Okay. And if that brings you joy or that's for you, absolutely continue it. If it's not, can we reduce the call? Can we make them less days a week? Can we find a way to have your time after school, that decompression time, that downtime, to be more serving for you and your self-care before going home to your a little bit overbearing and controlling husband? I know a lot of people are bogged down by the weight of responsibilities and obligations and things that they should be doing. And once you sort of free yourself from what you think you're supposed to be doing or what you always have done, it can be really empowering. So, that was the first session with her. So I found out right then she is giving such a significant chunk of her downtime to someone else in a way that is not serving for her. So what are you doing? How is your sleep? Sleep is so important. And I can also find out a lot about someone from the amount of sleep that they're getting or not getting, whether they have a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep, what their sleep habits look like, what does their nighttime routine look like, what does their daytime or morning routine look like, how much physical activity are they getting during the day, how much are they prioritizing on their self-care, what time is it? Ad time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Ad time. So I wanted to share really quickly about a new venture that I just started. So I have been looking to replace my protein powder, my pre-workout, and my skincare. Just some things that I prioritize for my health. And I decided to partner with a new MLM company called SHAKLEE. And the reason that I did this is for a couple different reasons. So first of all, I wanted to find products that were comparable to the ones that I was using before and ones that I felt proud to support, and I found these amazing products. So this first is the SHAKLEE Life Shake. This one is the plant protein vanilla. I love it. It's a quick shake and go for me. It's delicious, filling, 20 grams of protein, lots of fiber, all the good shit that you need to keep yourself going through the day. As a vegetarian slash pescatarian, I need to prioritize my protein. So having a shake per day helps me to fulfill that need, especially when I'm marathon training and active and all of that. So I love this. I love, first of all, that there's different options for bag sizes. This is the 14-day supply. So you don't need to invest in a whole month of shakes if you're not drinking them every day. I only drink maybe 5 days a week. So this is perfect for me. The other product that I've tried from SHAKLEE is their pre-workout. I was super skeptical of this one because I have been obsessed with my pre-workout for forever. But this one is really light, really clean, and a lot less staining. So it just feels really good. I love the taste. It's lemon, but it almost tastes like a light lemonade, and I'm really loving it so far. And the other product that I've tried is their youth cream. And this is just their day cream. This is the only one that I've tried so far. I am next on my list. I need to get the night cream and some sort of serum. But this one I'm loving so far. It goes along a little bit, goes a long way. If you can see here, I've just been dabbing on the top to put on my face, and I think it gives me a good glow. But aside from loving these products, the reason that I really felt compelled to join another MLM is for women to have an option of earning an income. And I know for me, when I joined my previous MLM company, I didn't know what the future held. I fell in love with the products. I fell in love with how I was feeling. And then I started betting on myself. I started growing a business. I started gaining confidence. I started doing things that I never expected. And I know that I would not be the Melissa you see here today without that previous MLM experience. So a couple weeks ago, it hit me. I was like, I need an option to give to women, not only for clean products that they can rely on and they can depend on, but also the ability to grow an income and gain that confidence and build that belief in themselves. Because who knows what's down the line for you if you don't bet on yourself. So if you are looking to make an income for yourself, to gain some confidence, to try some new products and share them with your friends and gain a little income on the side, this is perfect for you. I'm going to put the link in my bio, or not in my bio, in the show notes, so you can check it out yourself. They have tons of different products for healthy living, for skincare, for even cleaning products. I haven't even dived into that yet, but this is for you to create the life that you desire, whether that's just consuming the products or whether that's sharing that with others and building an income for yourself. I am really all about women empowering themselves and being the best version of themselves, and also learning how to support themselves. So if this is for you, check out my link below and let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear what you think about these products, because the 3 that I've tried so far, I love. Now back to the program. Well, where are they of their thoughts? A lot of times if people have trouble going to sleep or staying asleep, I really encourage them to start journaling at night as a means to brain dump and empty their brain before getting into bed. One of the things I educate people on in the first session is that there is, a lot of the concepts that, if you've been here a while, a lot of the concepts that you guys have heard is what I educate my clients on initially. And that is, we are here to figure out what works for you. There is no one size fits all. There is no this works for everyone. I feel like if you have a provider like that, run away, because everyone is so different. And I am not the expert on anyone. I just know certain tools to suggest to certain people. So journaling is one thing that I love to educate on, because it can be such a powerful tool for people. There's one way that people just freehand write. Just freehand write. Whatever is in your brain comes out on the paper. Other people really like a journal prompt. So they really like to have some sort of guided, like, where's my anxiety at today? What is a way that I can calm myself down? That's just an example of a journal prompt. Or some people like to write their to-do list. If they have thoughts swirling, I've got to call the dentist tomorrow. I've got to, send my kids 504 to the therapist. I've got to, call the plumber. I have, X amount of work to do. It instead of swirling around in your brain, getting it out on paper can be helpful. Also, um, um, I forget what I was going to say, but the to-do list, open-ended journaling, and journal prompts, anything that you can do to sort of get out what's up here, can be really helpful. When I was diagnosed with ADHD in high school, one of the things that I was taught as a means to help myself was to make lists. So I know that if I haven't written something down yet in my book, first of all, it's not going to happen. It has to be written down in my book. But I will swirl around in my head until it's written down. So if I'm in the shower and I think of something, it is occupying so much brain space for me not to forget what it is that I need, whether it's it was conditioner today and a heating pad. How can I get this written down? So however you need to empty your brain. If you're one of those people who has trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep, I recommend journaling, and just emptying it out. And sometimes when we open-ended journal, and I also give my patients the flexibility to do whatever feels good. So if they're writing a to-do list, but then they're like, blah 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 blah, do that. Whatever is getting out from here is occupying less space, and it's out on your paper. You don't have to think about it anymore. Now, there are some wacko feelings and thoughts and stories that I've heard about journaling. One of them is about people reading it. Now, if you are in a household where you are worried about people reading your journal, first of all, what? I leave this on my kitchen table. Anyone can read it. Good luck reading it, first of all. Second of all, if you need to establish a boundary of this is my journal, this is private, this is my space, this is my business, stay out of it, and it's not respected, that may be a whole other issue. Lock it up, hide it, take it with you. Like, do whatever you got to do. Do what I do. I said to someone yesterday, you would have no idea what I've written, but I know everything that I've written. I am writing like a sloppy lunatic, but I know what I'm writing as I'm writing it. The thoughts are in my head as I'm writing it on the paper. Last week, I talked to somebody about journaling, and they had created a story about that they needed to read their journal after they read it. Or no, I'm sorry. They were worried about going back and reading what was in their journal at a later time, and it felt like it would be more work for them to do. I was like, you gotta let that go. Let it go. You don't need to go back and reread your journal. You just don't need to. And here's the thing is, I know that there's a lot of people who do go back and read their journal, whether it's insight into something that they were struggling with, or they want to see an area that they've improved. That is for you to figure out. But if a story like that is holding you back from starting, you have to eliminate it. Getting your thoughts out onto paper is what's important for journaling, not necessarily going back and reading it, not writing it perfectly, not going back and deciphering everything that was previously in your journal. You can literally just brain dump, get it out. Burn it, throw it away, whatever you have to do. The point of journaling is to get it from head to paper. That's it. Anything else, just throw away. It is unbelievable to me the stories that people create for themselves as roadblocks to doing things that will help them. And that's just one of the most curious things. Another thing that I like to tell people in the first session, especially people with anxiety or especially people who are new to therapy, is the power of their thoughts, that they are in control of those thoughts. So if your thought is telling you a story about why you can't journal because you don't have the time to go reread it, is that reality? And this goes back to that concept of you can't control your first thought, but you can control your second thought. So if your first thought is saying, I don't have time to go reread my journal. Hold up, brain. I don't need you here right now. Is this reality? Do I need to make time to go back and reread my journal? The answer is no. That is a perfectionist thought that is popping up for that individual. So let's get really crystal clear on what we're saying to ourselves and if that is a reality that we have to listen to, or if we can just say, you know what, brain? Thank you for doing your job, but I'm good. I can do this without your help right now. So I really introduced that concept really early on of first thought, second thought, so that they feel empowered and they don't feel like a prisoner of their thoughts. I encourage people to get curious. I say initially, this is your job, and I explain that therapy is their, it's in their hands. I have some people who will come to session and they'll apologize to me about, not sort of doing the things that they set out to do that week, or maybe not create the habits that they had, put an emphasis on creating. It's not impacting me. And I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I'm doing my thing. If you're not journaling, I'm sorry that you're not journaling. We'll figure out why you're not journaling or what's holding you back. I am journaling. I am doing my gratitude. I am getting my workout in. I am prioritizing my self-care. So it does not impact me if you don't do what you said to do. I just want to help you move forward, and you help yourself forward by developing these habits and going through these lists of tools so that you can create the life that you want to create. So I tell them to get curious. If anxiety is an issue or depression is an issue, I say, every single day you can start off with a 0 to 10 scale. That's just what I wrote down, 0 to 10. Where am I at with my anxiety? Am I at a 7? All right, I'm at a 7. Can I make some instances into why I'm at a 7 right now? Did I sleep like shit? Did I drink last night? Did I not get my workout in yesterday? Do I have a big presentation at work today? Do I have, a therapy session with my estranged spouse? Like, what are the reasons I'm at a 7, and what can I do now? And now that I know I'm at a 7, what can bring me back down? What can help me? What tools can I use? And this is about what the person has for tools. And self-care, I do not mean pedicures and dinner with your friends and all of that. I mean actual journaling, gratitude practice, not just thinking gratitude, and actual practice. Exercise, going to therapy, meeting with your business coach, actual things that are going to move you forward, not just distract you. Some self-care is distracting. TV, video games, pedicures. These are things that are relaxing. They can numb you, but they're not really healing you. And so I want you to think about that is, what am I doing that's self-care but is actually healing for me? Affirmations, those skills that we're developing in therapy. So it's going through that list and saying, okay, I want to see what will bring me down that scale. So if I'm at a 7 now and I do my workout, I read some of my personal development book, the Let Them Theory, I do my gratitude practice, and now I'm at a 5. Those actions, my workout, my gratitude practice, and what was the other thing that I said? Oh, the Let Them Theory. Those all brought me to a 5. So that reduced my anxiety. That getting curious about what is reducing it and what is increasing it is going to help you so that you know and you have those tools in your tool belt to move you further down the line when you need to. It is about, like, we cannot be just thinking about our feelings. We have to be thinking about how to make myself feel better. And that's what getting curious is all about. When I work with couples, one of the things is getting curious about love languages. Do the love language quiz. What is your partner? What are you? How can you share with your partner how to best love you? I worked with a couple earlier this week, and she did not know how to speak to her partner in a loving way, and she really wanted to. So it was up to him to, first of all, get curious with himself to figure out what is a way that she can speak to me in my love language that will feel good to me. And also get curious and get kind and get understanding so that he's open to it. So he understands and can recognize the effort that she's putting in, and also get curious with himself. Maybe this felt good and I didn't expect it to. There's other ways to be open to love and be open to the healing. Also, when it comes to couples, is stop keeping score, right? If you're keeping score with, how well you're doing or how much you're giving, you are missing the point. And if you guys both want to come together at a better place, you got to drop the scorecards, get curious, get kind, and figure that shit out, right? How can I love my partner? How can I express my gratitude for the ways that my partner is loving me? I always recommend the gratitude diaries to anyone struggling in terms of gratitude and understanding how gratitude can help. But definitely with couples, I love like giving them both that sense of they can shift the dynamic between them if they start a gratitude practice, which is like less than 5 minutes a day, and they express to the other person what they're grateful for them. I know for me, I know I'm single now, but this did really, really help me and Tucker for so many years. There's no way we would have been married for as long as we were without that gratitude that I plunged headfirst into and really shifted the dynamic of how we interacted for a good number of years. So gratitude diaries is great, and remembering to tell your other partner about that too. So I always I am uh, a I guess a giver in therapy. I don't know what other word I'm trying to look for, but I give a book to people. I say, you are, if reading is your jam, this is not meant to replace your reading. And this is something I've learned. I'm like, we have to reduce the perfectionism. So if I give journal prompts to people, I tell them, you do not have to do any of these. You do not have to do all of these or any of these. Take what's helpful, leave the rest. I have given, one day I gave the 20 journal prompts to someone, and the next time in session, he was like, oh my God, I didn't get them all. I didn't get to them all. And I was like, you're not supposed to. Just do what speaks to you. So really it's about reducing perfection. How can we build upon these habits? Sometimes I'll say, okay, you want to do gratitude. We're going to develop a gratitude practice this week. This is going to help you, recognize the good in your life, be more present, reduce aggression. That's what we're going to do. How many days a week can you do that? And sometimes people are like, 7. I'm going to do it every day. And I'm like, no. If you're doing 0, let's focus on 3. 3 days a week. Even I don't do my gratitude 7 days a week. I do it 5 days a week. So fuck perfection, start a habit, and be realistic with yourself. The power of all of these things is consistency. So doing gratitude, even if it's 2 days a week, but you're doing it consistently will help you in a way that doing it 0 will not. So that's what the focus is. So I always give gratitude practice to most of my people initially. I give journal prompts, and I'm going to pop some of the journal prompts that I give in the show notes so that you have them too. I am often posting journal prompts and just things to think about in my podcast community. So absolutely join my podcast community so that you can get the benefits of the things that are in my head that pop out and maybe can help you during the week too to help move yourself forward. And I usually always give a book. Sometimes I've been giving the Let Them theory depending on where they are. Oftentimes I give soundtracks by John Acuff, especially to people with anxiety, because I love that book because it gives you a lot of insight into the thoughts that you're thinking and those soundtracks that we create. So like that guy that created the thing about the journaling, that he had to go back and reread all the journaling and it was going to be like another job for him. That's a soundtrack. That's a thought that's on repeat in your brain. It has no validity, right? It's just a thought, but we give it power. And oftentimes we do that in our lives. So it's really helpful to understand the thoughts that we think and be able to, to dissect them and also push back on them, right? We don't have to be at the liberty of our thoughts. Um, I think I think that's it. This is like a really good, this is like the intro into what an intake session looks like so that I can get a really good hold on what that person does and what self-care needs to be implemented. If they don't move their body, I encourage them to move their body. I encourage if they're, disabled or not able to, do I don't know, lifting or what I just whatever is their jam. If it's hiking, walking, running, just do it. I talked to a guy last week who was like he's like I'm doing my workouts in the morning. They don't really like pump me up, but he's like I used to be a runner and that feeling afterwards was indescribable. And you know me, I'm like I am addicted to that feeling. Like get back at it. Get back at it. Even if you start with a mile, focus on the feeling. A lot of times people are like, I'm not motivated. And you have to really just say, fuck motivation. I often don't feel motivated to do much of anything, to get up in the morning, to do my miracle morning, to do my workouts, to do my runs. Like it's a process. I don't focus on the feeling of being motivated. I focus on the after feeling. I focus on the feeling of accomplishment. And I focus on that goal of me taking the very best care of myself so that I am the best mom, I'm the best therapist, I'm the best podcast host, and so that I can level myself up to encourage other people to do so. I feel like that is my calling and it's my responsibility, and I've tied my identity to it. So, how can you do that? How can you do that so that you're taking the best care of yourself to be the best for everyone around you? I hope this was helpful. This is sort of a behind the scenes glimpse into what the subscription will get you and what the bonus episodes will get you. You're guaranteed at least 2 a month, maybe more depending on how it goes, but I definitely want to be doing the deep dives um into the interviews because I feel like there's so much there and it's not always available for me to grab at or comment at. So I want to be able to come in and give you the goods after the fact. So I appreciate you for being here. Please rate and review and screenshot and share it. Send it to a friend. I appreciate you so much for your support and I love you. Mwah. What time is it? Ad time. It's a celebration. And it is. Did you know that alcohol abuse disorders are rampant among adults? And 1 in 8 American adults qualify to have an alcohol abuse disorder. Alcohol makes depression worse, makes anxiety worse, and basically everyone is better off when you drink less. How do you drink less? Well, some people reduce the amount of drinks that they drink per week. Others replace with THC. I love to call these my drug drinks. These have 5 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD. They give you a little great buzz around the campfire or hanging out with your friends without having a hangover from alcohol, without having the dehydration from alcohol. Right on the can, they'll tell you the vibes that you get. This one is buzzy, uplifting, and social. What I love about this company is they have great customer service and they also have different levels of THC and CBD in each drink. So this one's a higher one because I have a little bit of a higher tolerance, but you can get ones that are smaller. They have gummies, they have special nighttime ones to help you sleep, tons of different products, and they're all really good quality. And I have been drinking them. I get them delivered right to my door every month so that I can reduce my alcohol consumption and also enjoy a nice little drug drink. So if you are looking to, and I have different kinds, blackberry mango, this is pineapple orange, raspberry lemon. I love to take these on my paddleboard or kayak when I go out into the woods and am one with nature. If you want to try them, I'm going to put my link in the show notes. Feel free to check out the link, check out the store, and let me know what your favorite is. I love, love, love these products, and anything that reduces alcohol in our country and culture is a win in my book. So tell me what you think, and I hope you enjoy.